Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. I have got a very special treat for you today. I have recorded my pre-market routine for you. So today's Friday, I recorded my pre-market routine today and the video comes out tomorrow. So that'll be super. And basically it is what I do from 1:30 all the way through to 2:30 and all the good stuff in between. It's how I get ready for the market open and everything that I need to do. It's taken a couple of years to really fine-tune my pre-market routine because it's the most important part of your trading. It's getting ready for that market open. So when the bell goes, market opens, you got your watch list, you got your piece of paper, you are all ready to go. And I promise you guys, it makes all the difference. So with that, I won't go into it anymore. Let's head over to the video. All right, guys. Right guys, so first things first, I normally sit down on my computer at 1:30. Gives me about an hour to get ready for the market open for 2:30. So what I normally do is, we're starting a little bit earlier today just so I've got enough time to run through all of my pre-market stuff with you guys, so I'm not rushing. So yeah, with that, let's get started. So first things first, what I normally do is I sit down at 1:30, open up all of my platforms. I've got my charting software, my brokerage platform, my Excel spreadsheet up on the top, and then I normally have my chat room down on the bottom left, which I normally go to about 2 o'clock, and then I have that half an hour in the chat room seeing what other people's ideas are and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and that's what I do every single day. It's quite nice. Once you've been doing it for a while, you get into a rhythm of what you're doing, and then you're able to do it quicker. So there we go. First things first. So what I always do is I always come to the SPY and I always have a look and see what the market's doing. So as you can see, yesterday we kept that inside day, and then today we're gapping down to 424.11. This pivot right here is 424.50. So we are now gapping under that pivot, which means that we're going to be expecting to have a lower day today. So good stuff. That's what we like to see, a nice clear gap in the market. So I'll put that as lower. Then the Qs, let's have a look. So the Qs are gapping down to 325.94, and that pivot right here is 326.36. so it's gapping down to about there, just under that pivot, which is super, really good. So a bearish sentiment on the market today, and that is our market analysis done. And then what we do is we go over yesterday's list and just see is there any carryover stocks from yesterday that we can put on our list today. Look at that big move down from Netties yesterday. Whew. Whew. Wow, that's crazy. So as you can see, it was gapping, it had that move down, and there's a pivot right there on the daily at 83.21. So it's got a bit of support. That's crazy, that is. Really big move down. You could look, if it's an extended move down, you could look to wait for that bounce off support, and then you could look to trade it up. But I'm good today. It's a Friday. I want to look for those level 2 gaps, those really nice, like the market, that really nice gap under that pivot, and it's gapping below. That's what I want to see. Nothing there. COP and XOP. Nope, and XOP. Nope, not surprising. The long list yesterday, obviously the market's gapping down today, so it's not surprised me that nothing's gapping up today from yesterday's list. Yeah, that's moving a bit lower than yesterday's, but it's third red bar, so not interested in that. KSS, nope. And SQM is the last one on my list, and I don't see anything on that. So that is the carryover list, and we don't have anything to carry over. Normally we have a couple, but not today, which is not surprising because obviously the market is gapping down, so that's understandable. Next. it's that kind of day today. Moving on. So we've got the universal gap list right here. This is the TC2000 list that I use, and this is just my universal stocks that I use that I will see regularly. I will see probably every week. I'll see these on my lists and my gap lists, and they're just stocks that I want to keep an eye on. So they are your Teslas, your Metas, your Target, your financial stocks, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citigroup, all that kind of stuff. All the ones that most people know. I've traded them. I like how they trade, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So I just like to run down, because sometimes some of these stocks just won't appear on my gap list, on my Trade Zero beg your pardon, my trade list scanners, my Trade Zero scanners, for whatever reason. So it's just good just to go through these and just make sure that I'm not missing anything. And these don't take too long to go through. Core. Better. All right. Let's go. So first things cost. Nope. So here, all that I'm doing is I'm comparing this number right here, which is 184.36. I then click on yesterday's bar, and you can see the open, the high, and the low in that box. I'm looking at the high and the low and just comparing the numbers. So I'm comparing this number to those two numbers in the box, the high and the low, and that just tells me, is this number higher than the high or lower than the low, basically. And then that tells me that it's gapping, and then I look to see if it's gapping over pivots and all that kind of stuff. Let's just check cap. So let's put cat on my list, because so that's short. As you can see here, it's gapping down to 193.93. That pivot right there is 193.87. So it's gapping just to that level, and then it's got another pivot at 193, and then it's got room down to that 50 MA. So we will keep an eye on cat. Oh, 432. Adobe Systems. So it's gapping down today, which is nice to see, but it's a tough stock to trade. I find that it can get quite spready, quite whippy, but let's keep an eye on it. I think I don't know if we'll keep it on the list later on, because obviously as we come through all the list and then we go on to Trade Zero scanners, we might get 20 shorts. That then means that I want to pick maybe 10 to 12 that I really like, and then, you know, keep the others as like a backup list, that kind of stuff. So Google's gapping under yesterday's bar, room lower. Again, it's a FANG stock, which means that it's one of the top group of stocks. So the market's gapping down today. Google, Tesla, Meta, Netflix, all of them kind of stocks, they're going to be gapping down as well. So yes, you can put them on your list, but again, you know, it's gapping down with the market, you know, so Google's not really going to do anything. So let's General Motors. Okay, very nice. Okay, so General Motors, this is a perfect example right here. It's gapping up to 39.50. Yesterday's high was 38.90. The pivot over to the left is 39.69. So it's very close to breaking over that pivot. And then if we zoom out, another pivot there at 39.64. So it needs to get over that. And then the next one's 41.24. So perfect stuff. There's our first long for the day, is General Motors. Not for me. Wells Fargo over 46.30. So because of this 4 or 5 days consolidating, I look to the hourly chart just to get an idea of what Wells Fargo's done. As you can see, it's gone to move and just struggled to break that little area there. So as you can see there, it's just struggling to get over that little bit. 46.30, 46.27, and the high here is 46.31. An average day is going to do about 75 cents to $1. Not bad. It's not bad. It's not great, but if it can get over that 46.30 area, then we will keep an eye on it. More of a backup idea, if I'm honest, but we will watch it nonetheless. Right, let's get through the list because time is a ticking. So the main things you want to watch when you're doing your watch list is you're looking for gaps and you're looking for extended moves. So gaps, you would look to follow that trend. So if it's gapping up, you expect to trade it higher. But with extended moves, you can then look to, you know, bring the stock down a bit. Like for example, look at Apple on the weekly. Look, that's an extended move up. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's coming up to that pivot on the weekly. So in the next coming days, you could look to then wait for the bounce off support, resistance, sorry, and then you can maybe trade Apple to the short side. General Electrics, yeah, that's okay. Again, it's got that range right here that we can look. Again, always remember your volume as well down here. So as you can see, 4.6 million, 6.1, 9.2, 3.4. As long as it's above that million volume every day, that's not too bad. If I quickly show you, where am I? GE, okay, BTNX. That's not BTNX. Right here, so BTNX has 500,000, 600, 700, 1.1, 1.4. Some days it does a million, some days it doesn't. You can tell the difference when you're trading a stock like BNTX that only does 500,000 some days, because honestly, the whippiness and the spreadiness of the stock is unreal. So it's always something to just be mindful of when you're trading, because you can get nasty slippage and your $50 risk can turn into 60, 70, even $80 risk. So that's something to definitely be mindful of when you're picking your lists for the day, your watch list. So coins gapping down to $75.75. The 50 MA right here is at 65.50. Yeah, I'll put coin on my list. I like that. That's a nice gap. Not a great gap, but it's a nice gap. We will check it later just to see where if there's any pivots that it's gapping under. That would be super duper. No, thank you. Target is 171.50 and the low there is 171.50. If we can get under 170.83, which is that pivot right there, then we might come into a bit of room. Let's check the 50, 170.20. Yeah, it's just not in that right place, is it? Because it's close to that pivot, I'm going to put it on the short list just to keep an eye on it. But again, that hourly, as you can see, it's got quite a few little areas of support that it might struggle. So we would rather the stock be gapping under that support before we take the trade. Okay, that's nice. So we've got Tesla right here gapping under that pivot. So that goes on the list. And also, guys, I forgot to mention the universal gap list right here. This is for longs and shorts. So I'm looking at them, as I said, I'm looking at yesterday's high and low to see if it's gapping above or below that level. So these stocks can be long, short, you know, however they're gapping basically. Cost was the first one I looked at as well. So just going over it again just to be on the safe side. So that is that. So what I'm going to do, just to make it a bit easier for you guys to see, like that, and then I'll get my brokerage platform, move it over like that, get the list, voila. I didn't want that. So this is the scanners that I use, and as you can see on Trade Zero, you've got New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq. So net chains up, net chains down, net chains up, net chains down, Nasdaq, New York. Those are the ones that I look for. So we start with the New York net chains up, and this is where we have a look. So exactly the same thing. Check the number here, check yesterday, and just looking for any gaps. So Bill is at 175. Yesterday's was 151, so 65, 70. It's gapping a little bit too much. So I always look for 10% or under gaps. So 10% on Bill is 165, so it's $15 is its $10% range. So it's traded yesterday with a high of 151.28. The highest that it can go for me to trade it is 165, and as you can see, it's trading at 175. You can make some exceptions depending on the gap, the kind of day, you know, that kind of stuff, but you really have to be mindful of taking 15-20% gaps, especially on stocks that are over $100. Do you know what I mean? Because they're just so extended, they're just not potentially going to make that move higher. Sometimes they do, but we're odds-based traders and we don't take trades that potentially could stop us out. So it's gapping up to there, which is nice. It's got a pivot to the left at 189. So today, I'm going to put it on my list. I want to keep an eye on it. Doesn't mean I'm going to trade it, because, you know, I need to see how it moves off the open. I would like it to pull back, put in a low at support maybe, and then I can then look to trade it. But at the moment, it is extended. That is the problem. And then Foot Locker again, it's that 10% rule, and it's too high, so I'm not going to trade that. So as you can see on the New York Stock Exchange, net chains up. You've got a lot of these kind of stocks, which is typical. When the market's gapping down, you tend to have these long, and then when the market's gapping up, you tend to have them short. That is no surprise. So already I can tell it's quite a quiet day today. That is a IPO, initial public offering, so obviously opened up yesterday, had a nice, well, I say it's a nice move, it wasn't a great move, but then it's gapping up today, beg your pardon. So again, you could trade it, but it's going to be very, very volatile, very whippy. A lot of halts and whatnot, and I'm not down for that today. I'm not down for it any day. You know, I want to be doing this job for a very, very long time, and I could just be doing without the stress of being in halts and stuff. I did it in my first couple of years of trading. You know, you try and get, because again, it works. You know, it works really, really well when you know what you're doing, and obviously, you know, it goes higher or lower depending on where you're trying to go. But again, it can easily go against you, and you can lose a lot of money. So it's always something to be careful of. And you know, you don't really need the stocks getting halted to make money. But each to their own. You know, you just have to be careful whatever you do in the market. Just get that experience in and know what works for you. Nothing on AMAT, ICPT. So as you can see, it's taken a little bit longer because I've got you guys with me today, but it is a very time consuming thing to do. And I do this every single morning before the market opens, just to get my list. And then in live traders, Jared puts his list out, Unmol puts his list out, and then obviously I will look over theirs and just, it's not what I put in, SMMT. And then I can look to take a couple of theirs if they're good lists, good gaps, that kind of stuff. And then vice versa, you know, you put stuff out yourself, other people like it. I traded RBLX I think the other day, and that was somebody that mentioned that pre-market. I didn't have it on my list, so that's really, really good. And that's why I use the chat room. You know, it's amazing. It's not necessarily for new traders, it's more for that intermediate kind of level where you're doing your own thing, but you've got that there to just kind of help you with stocks that you might not have on your list. Again, I'm not a huge fan of these low penny stocks. I don't mind them, but as my trading journey's kind of gone, I've kind of moved more towards large cap stocks, and I do prefer them, you know. But $10, $15, $20, that kind of range I'm happy to trade, but anything under $5 I really don't look to trade them. So X-ray, it's that support level right there. Nice bar yesterday, and it's gapping over that. The volume, yeah, it's not too bad. Check the hourly, we've got a pivot at 37 again, which was respected post market. That looks like that was post market. Average trading range is about 75 cents. That's 50. That's nearly $1. That's about 75. Not bad. I'm going to put it on the list just because I don't have many longs, but as you can see, pre-market it's just, I mean, that's, what's the 31,000. It's not bad. We'll keep an eye on it. I don't know. I don't think I've traded X-ray before, so I'm not 100% sure how it trades. And again, this is to be expected. You know, the markets are gapping down. You're not going to find a lot of stocks that are gapping up. You know, like General Motors. That's amazing. You know, those are the kind of stocks you want to see today, with the market gapping down and General Motors gapping up over a pivot, room higher, tick, tick, tick. You know, really, really good. That is what we look for. That's a long list. Moving on to the short list. So we go New York, net change down. So this is where we should be finding more gaps down. So there we go. DE, nice volume, nice gap down under that pivot within that 10% gap range. 367, $36. Yeah, well within that range. So let's put DE on the list. And again, you're going to very quickly see that there's going to be quite a few on the short list. So you're just going to have to see what gaps are good, what gaps are not. So EPAM, so see the volume, about 500,000, so not interested there. Lin, yeah, Lin's nice. Couple of days it does under 1 million, but most days it seems to be hitting that 1 million mark. So Lin is on the list. And the volume's under 1 million, so we'd madness. Okay, so moving on. ENPH. I don't know why, but I tend to find more stocks to trade on the NASDAQ list than on the New York list, for whatever reason, whether that's just my preferability. It's my preference. There you got your Teslas, your coins, your Netflix, Microsoft, all of those good stocks that are good to trade. I just tend to find them on the NASDAQ net change up and down list. So just so you know. Did I put Microsoft on the list? Let's put Microsoft on the list. Again, market's gapping down, Microsoft is gapping down, no surprise, but if the market then starts to rally and Microsoft stays lower, then that's our relative weakness, and then that's our chance to trade it. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Okay, I'll keep an eye on it. That is in the backup list, really. Do we look at that? Nothing there. Etsy. I like the pre-market under that 112 area. For the pre-market right here, can you see it's consolidating at 112? I don't really like the red candles from the previous 2 days, but I do like that pre-market, so we're going to keep an eye on it. See, TTD. TTD is nice because it's gapping under the 200 MA, so we'll keep an eye on that. TTD. Not finding great gaps today though, I'm not going to lie. Under 165. What's the average trading range? Okay, we're going to put Zoom on the list just because it needs to move a couple of dollars to get under that support to the left, but once it does, that will look really, really nice. Right, so that is our list for today. Let's move that back. Right, so there we go. So now what we do is go back to the SPY, and now we've got to mark up our support and resistance. So 421, so let's start there. 419.25, 419.25, and then move our way up, and we've got 424.75. Pivots right there, cancels that one out. 424.50. So obviously it's gapping under that, but if it does rally, we need to keep an eye on that. 450, in case it comes back up, it's going to butt heads with that. So that's then a resistance level. 425.50 is another level, and there's no coincidence that they're at the halfway mark as well, the $half mark. It's very psychological, very $half whole numbers. You'll find they are natural support and resistance areas, and then that's it. And then up here is 428.50, 428.50. The other thing I will say as well is right here, can you see it's 428.61, but I've put the resistance area as 428.50. I round it down to that half number every quarter, so 25, 50, 75, 100, that kind of thing. If it's at 60, I round it down to 50. If it's at 72, I round it up to 75, just because they're areas of support and resistance. It's not necessarily going to hit 61 and then come back down off of that resistance. It might hit 65, it might hit 70, it might hit 80 and then drop down. So they're just areas just to be mindful of. So I always put them in those kind of areas for myself, and that's, yeah, that works. Moving on to the Qs. So look to the hourly. So the daily and the hourly are the charts that we use to find them support and resistance. Daily, you can see the gaps and the pivots, and then the hourly we come down just to get a better idea of where them pivots are. So as you can see, we've got a pivot there at 322, so we're going to jot that down, 322. Next one right here, 323.25, 323.25, and then right here, 326.25, 326.25, and again this is if it then comes back up, 326.75, 326.75, and then to the upside 330.50, 330.50. I won't expect the stock to move any higher than that. Let me just check. I got yesterday's high in 428.61. There we go. Okay, so 428.50 is correct. Right, so that's the SPY and the Q support and resistance, and then I can just quickly look and see what the market might be doing when I'm getting into a trade. So if I'm going long, market's going long and it's at 428.49, I know that there's that resistance at 0.50. I know that the market might come back down. Do I want to be getting into a stop long when the market might be potentially reversing and going back down again? You know, because the only stocks that will hold up to that is that extreme relative strength, relative weakness. So something to always be mindful of. GM, we need over 39.75. Not quite there, so got a bit of room to go, but we'll keep an eye on that. Average trading range is about $1. We can agree. So just checking the high and lows of previous days and seeing what the average is, and then we go to the hourly and we just check over 39.75, That's 39.50. Okay, so there's this support right here is 40.25. 40.25. And then has it got room? Yes, it has. So 40.75. So that's that dollar average trading room.
Never move too far past the part where you say you're too far gone. Yeah, a minute's gone by, but it feels like a lifetime. Yeah, I'm chasing myself. I'm playing with my health, and it's cold as hell. Hurry up, find it, I'm sinking. I'm falling for you, but it's deeper. It's deeper. You got me tripping. You got me feeling things we never had. You seek forgiveness. I seek what you never said. What you never said. Ooh, got me tripping. Your love is what's been missing. Tell me why I've been reaching. Tell me why we've been distant. Yeah. You got me tripping. You got me feeling.
Last but not least is Zoom video communications. This is the one we need under all of this. 164, 101. So under 100 really is where we need it to be. So this is a bit of a long shot today. If it can get under 100, I'll be a lot happier. Average trading range is quite good. It's about $5. Some days it does more, some days it does a little bit less, but about $5 is fine. Right here is all that junk I want to get under. Then we've got 97.75, 97.75, and then we've got 96, and then what's that? Yeah, that's under 95. Perfect. So we are done. All done. It's taken longer. It doesn't normally take me about an hour to do the watch list. It normally takes me, I sit down on my computer at 1:30. It normally takes me about 30 minutes to get everything up, and then another 5-10 minutes just to quickly run through that watch list. What I'm just going to do is just quickly get a video going for you guys on my phone. So that is my list. As you can see, we've got the date at the top, the SPY and the Q, they're bearish, the gap. We've got a long list of 4 on the long, and we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 on the short list. And that is that. And that is what we do every single day. Wait for the market open, and then we're off to the races. Oh, bending my paper. Perfect. All right, guys. And there we go, guys. That is my pre-market routine. That is how I prepare for the market every single day. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it insightful, and I hope there's bits of it that you can take out to make your pre-market routine even better. Guys, always remember that trading is a very, very difficult skill to acquire. It's going to take many years for you to pick up what you need to learn to get good at trading. It took me 4 years. I thought that I was going to make it in 18 months, 2 years. You know, I'm 4 years in. I started in August 2018. We're now in August 2022. So it's literally been 4 years since I started trading, and what a journey it's been. I've had the ups, I've had the downs. You know, it's been difficult, but it's achievable. You have to put in the hard work. Your pre-market routine is just one of them things that you really have to get good at. You know, it's that time of the day before the market opens that you can sit down with your pen and paper, your charts, your stock scanners, and really find them stocks that are gapping up, gapping down. You know, whatever you're looking for, in stocks to trade them, that is your time that you're dedicating yourself to really giving yourself the best opportunity to be successful in trading. All right, so honestly, work at your pre-market if you need to, and just keep refining it, get better and better till you get to the point where you can do it every single day, and you can start to do this for a living, because you've put in the hard work, and then you start to reap the rewards. You need a good pre-market routine, and it does take time. All right, guys, so be kind to yourselves. Trading is very, very difficult, but if I can get there, so can you. All right, guys, I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.